Yeah, right on.
All right. So let's start.
Go, Busty. Go,
Yes.
Busty.
Awesome. All right. Well, welcome everyone who has joined us. I am Busty Beats and this is Lisa Falafi and we are from Hot Brown Honey. That's right. And we are here to have a bit of a conversation today with the Arts Front team for Little Lunches. So just at the forefront of everything we do, we send our love and respect to the First Nations people of this land that we are on, that we are all respectively on. I'm on Yuggera country at the moment. Lisa is on Bundjalung country, and we give the biggest love out there. So wherever you are, I'm going to say love, you say respect. Wherever you are, you can stay on mute, but say it so it's heard in the universe. So when I say love, you say respect, love.
Respect.
Love.
Respect.
That's right. Okay. So we're doing a takeover. But first, there's some hive keeping. So this little lunch is being recorded and streamed and will be available for viewing afterwards on www.llol.com.au. And we'll be sticking to 30-minute time frame because of the signing and captions. We invite people to introduce themselves in the Zoom chat and say whose country they're on today. And there is live captioning available if people click on the captions icon on the Zoom. We also have Michelle from Auslan Stage left, and people participating that way just need to click on Michelle's video and pin it. People, if you have a question, type it in the Zoom chat or put your hand up. There's like a little icon that put your hand up. I'm asking people to keep your mics muted unless you're speaking. And any tech problems or feedback, you can email contact@artsfront.com. Here we go. All right. We're trying to work out what we'll do here. And I was like, I'm going to interview Lisa Falafi. Because this is how we do it. We are sitting here now in, I think the weeks have kind of mashed together. So, you know, and just want to acknowledge, our privilege to have a place where we can be right now. We know there are people in the world who don't have a place where they can be and who don't have support systems or community in place, or are in detention centres or correctional facilities that are largely being ignored at this point. So want to just acknowledge that from the forefront. So going to have a chat with Lisa here. This is Lisa. Yes.
Hello, Talofa Lava, everybody.
Yeah. And Lisa is quite an amazing, phenomenal artist. Has been working for, a few years now, over 20. Say over 20 at least. And Lisa is a director, performance maker, choreographer and designer known for pushing cultural and gender boundaries. Her work is just like visually stunning and political and satirical. She is co-director of artist collective Polytoxic, one of the most prominent contemporary Pacific theatre companies in Australia, and is also the director, designer, choreographer, writer, and all the things of Hot Brown Honey.
Thanks for that, Busty.
That's all right.
I much prefer someone else to do it. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah. I'm good at the hype.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd just have a little chat today because we are kind of working out every day is different, working out what's going on in the world at the moment. And, we're also trying to is happening for us here in Australia. Being back in this colonial project has been pretty interesting. We were about to go on tour for a really quite a large number of weeks overseas and meet up with our FAMs overseas in the UK and on the unceded territories known as Canada. And we were also going to do some international collaborations over there with young women of colour. So that's kind of all off the table at the moment. We're still in contact big time. But yeah, so I just thought I'd see how you're going at the moment, Lisa.
How am I going? Oh gosh, I think I worked it out. It's like been 5 weeks, I think. So I think I've been through all of the emotions and everything from sort of annoyance to grieving to really scared and worried to trying to be proactive and then artistically trying to think in new ways and reaching out to people and running away. So it's so many things, and I think it's not just me, it's like everybody in the world. But I think chats like these, normally they're not like maybe to the big outside world, but I think staying connected and continuing to debrief what's happening, whether that's through the making of art or just conversation and or laughing and support. But yeah, it's a strange time. I'm busying myself with different types of artistic projects, like panels, for instance, like this, or collaborating via just sharing of ideas. I've had my head down making more merch for Hot Brown Honey, like for our online store. Trying to make. We don't make much money from our online store, but for us, it was like trying to create a slight emergency fund for our team. So yeah, doing that, connecting back with old drawing skills and, just trying to keep family safe.
Yeah, that's right. And we've also, just a shout out to Deb from Sisters Inside as well. We've been seeing some really great actions coming into play. So if you head over to the Sisters Inside website or Facebook, you can check out an action that's happening where we are sending soap to the prisons, right? Because we need to clean out the prisons because people are not getting soap there. And the fact is that they shouldn't be there. There's a lot of people that shouldn't be there. So just have a look over there because these actions are going to keep coming up. And the idea of mutual aid and actually making sure communities are safe inside of their communities is something that really matters to us. So
it's nice having a bit more time to think about that too. I don't know about you, Busty, like supporting people that we love and care about and actions that we care about, because being on the road and like yourself having children and just like all of the things that keep our show pushing along, we are at least now, if we have to stay home, we can concentrate on trying to share love or support for organizations, all around. And I think we've been trying to do a bit of that, whether it's shout outs to different companies or organizations or emergency funds or whatever it is. Still trying to stay proactive, I think, Busty, like, because we still care about the world, don't we? We're just usually our platform for, pulling that apart and making a stand on that is the stage, but we don't have that now. So we're trying to use the platforms that still exist to us, like these platforms to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And it was, in the words of our elder, Dr. Angela Davis, that you have to act as if it is possible to radically transform the world, and you have to do it all the time. So here we are in a situation where we need to actually start imagining another way of doing things and start living that way. Especially, I mean, we're very much a part of the arts community and like seeing what's going on here. The arts for us is a reflection of it's a microcosm of a macro of society. So if we can change things within the arts, we have the opportunity to change them on a larger level.
Yeah.
Are you with me? Can I get a witness? All right. Okay, so let's talk about self-care then.
Okay.
Let's talk about so what are some of your strategies at the moment? Because, there is a lot coming in, a lot of information happening all the time, a lot of information that is quite frustrating in the sense that why is the patriarchy still in charge? It's really annoying. Just watching them fumble about is just completely, it's not even mind-blowing because we live it every day, but in these cases, we see that they are not good at crisis. Yeah. So we have to make sure we take care of ourselves. So
yeah, I think it's monitoring how much news and outsideness I am consuming, because I think in times of crisis like this, you can be sort of glued to all of that. And, we all know our media services don't really report very well anyway. And so there's that part of it for myself personally. I have to sort of monitor that, because as an empath, you sort of can be, it can affect your health and well-being, and I still want to make change, so I need to protect that firstly. And then I think it's connecting with people that want to make change too, and even like I have to stay small at the minute, so it's connecting with people that I know, trust, and understand me, to create new whether it's a new platform here or or boosting someone else's mood for the day. There can be small things that can support our community as a whole. And I think no matter, for each person, it's very different and will change daily. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Bussy, or same for you, I guess.
Well, I'd like to just show a little clip here of how we actually...
Well, this is the other way. Yeah.
how we feel this can happen. Okay, so here we go, doing the thing. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Busty. This is Lisa, and we are Hot Brown Honey. After a long, hard day of decolonizing and smashing the heteronormative patriarchy, don't you feel like you need a little extra protection? Do your pores feel colonized? Is your skin ravaged with stereotypes? Does your epidermis itch from the lack of reparations? Have no fear, Brown here, and we have a deal for you. Decolonize and moisturize. Barrier, it will give you power. Boundary, it will help you with it. Blockade, so fresh, so clean. For the cost of paying the rent, we will send you a lifetime supply for all your radical fierce love needs. But wait, there's more. Free set of steak knives for all those extra microaggressions. Don't touch my hair. No money back, no returns, no refunds on stolen land unless you give it back. Decolonize and moisturize. When you need to fight the power, remember, decolonize and moisturize.
Yes.
I think that partly sums up how we are as people, Rusty, like using humor and using, being able to laugh together to get through a lot of this. It's nice to see that again.
Yes, that's right. Because, we definitely feel that humor and ridicule is actually a huge tool that we can use to take down overthrow. So, just another thing, like we basically have, oh, hello everyone. Look, I'm just reading the chats. Yes, that's right. Love you all. Yes. We actually have a project called Hive City Legacy, where we work with young women, matriarchs in training, across the world. So we've had the opportunity to talk to them. The first project was in London. So we've hooked up with them over the Zoom to see how things are going over there. And also there's another kind of project that's come out of that called the Afro Ballets, or the Afro Bees, and they are a project which the Hive City Legacy women then went on to work on this project in Brazil. And we've also been in touch with them as well to say hello and see how things are going in these very different parts of the world. So Lisa, could you just tell us a little bit about the Hive City Legacy project?
Yeah, I think like for us, like we've been, people have been asking us what next, and new hot brown honey, something, whatever. But the more Basti and I talked, we talked about like that one of the main things that made us want to make hot brown honey was, creating platforms for us to shine, and that there should be more and more. And we always talked about hot brown honey being 200 people one day. So when we were approached to do another project, we were like, well, we want to continue our legacy to create platforms for women like us to share, or femmes of color like us to share their stories. So hence where Hive City Legacy came out of, creating another space for these amazingly talented femmes could tell their stories how they wanted to, and I think for us, making sure that we have this, we can create safe spaces for these discussions to unfold within organisations and within big theatres, because they in themselves have a lot of things to learn about creating these safe spaces. So I am so overwhelmed that that what we did made such an impact on the Hive City Legacy crew, and that's from their feedback to us, more than I could have imagined. Actually, it's a bit like hot brown honey is more than I ever imagined. Like, I think we always knew we had the props to do something really good, but like to see the impact and the flow on effects, and then also the Hive City Legacy girls impact, their impact on the Brazilian team. So to me, it just reiterates that our stories are important, that connections like that within groups can create magic, like, long-term collaborations, long-term relationships. If you invest and create proper safe space, you can make change within not just the individuals, but the outside structures that are around them, and therefore outside again. So I don't know, I think it's, we try to tackle one stage at a time, like that's how we're like decolonizing one stage at a time. And I feel that our impact at least is having these ripple effects. I don't know if you think I've missed anything there, Basti, or...
Yeah, no, that's great. Look, we've got about 10 minutes left in this chat. I might open it up to questions, because that would be good to actually see if anyone has any questions. If anyone just wants to say hi, ooh, hey, yes. Let's just see. Okay, we've got one here. What can we do right now to help independent artists right now?
Right now. Money. No.
Yeah.
I think it's about organizations too, and everybody being able to think outside of how you connect to artists, because like, it's interesting, isn't it? We're talking about all the neglect from our government in particular, but like just how the arts is getting everyone through this epidemic, yet we're still at the bottom of the pile. So like, it's a change of thinking all around, isn't it? It's like, it's an acknowledgement of how special it is that the arts are going to keep you sane through this whole process.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of that thing too. I mean, it's been really interesting to see who we started isolating early because the jobs disappeared, so we had to be, we're almost, I feel like the independent sector is in a place almost a little bit ahead of the rest of society. So in saying that, it's like, so what are we going to do? We've actually got a huge amount of talent, a huge amount of brain energy, a huge imagination. So let's stop thinking maybe, look, everyone at this point needs some sort of financial help, yes, and it's confusing as hell what's going on out there, but also we have the power now to actually make some great change. You know, whether it be like for us with Hot Brown Honey, we make sure we try and signal those organizations doing things, those artists doing things. We try and make sure that we are very clear, especially with our social media, like we are not interested in going back to how it was. So how are we going to imagine how it is going to be? You know? Yes, I'll just have a look here. Yes, Pippa, like, yeah, there've been many of these calls. First time anyone talking about system change. Can you talk about the opportunity of that change now? Yeah, systematic change is absolutely necessary. Like I said before, if we can do this in the micro that is the arts, we're like, you know what? The arts has the capacity to change culture. So we are in a position to change culture, but we have to do it. And it's not like this, we're all in this together stuff, because look, we're not. We know the inequalities are so massive. Firstly, let's talk about First Nation led in the arts, which is very, very not there. Like, that's the first point of call. Then we need to like get everyone out that's in at the moment, because they are not doing any, like, you know, it's the small companies that I see that are doing stuff. There's, you know, even our lighting designer started something called People Powered, which is like bringing together people from events and the medical profession to go, what can we do to actually help? We have lateral thinking going on. How can we be a part of actually helping in this situation, as opposed
and
to
the structure should be a bit fearful, because look, we have a bit of time to be thinking. Yeah. It's like, you know, we have time to like think of strategies to really shift, you know, make a paradigm shift. And why the hell not? We, you know, we want it very badly, and we're going to try to convince everybody to come with us through our books, through our music, through our FaceTimes, through our, you know, so, you know, I think the structure should be worried that we are rising again, and we have time to think about how we're going to bloody do that. So,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. And that's, yeah, and we've got here, yes, Diversity Arts is doing some stuff, stories from the future. There are some really great stuff and advocacy going on. I'm seeing who's advocating, by the way. I can see who's doing what. And I'm taking notes, right? If you're not doing stuff, I will find you and you will be on the list. Busty's blacklist. Busty's whitelist, I should say. Yeah, but like, you know, it is that kind of idea, and we need to learn, we need to look, why aren't we connecting? Why aren't we connecting with those organizations that are already doing stuff? And I'll bring up, because Deb's here, I'm going to bring up Sisters Inside again, because we need to be connecting in and going, right, we already know that Sisters Inside know how to organize. They know how to pull stuff together. We need to bring our skills and push them, like, you know, and go, right, why isn't there a massive campaign at the moment going, okay, like, these are the steps, people. These are the steps. We actually all know what the steps, you know. Yeah, we do need to overthrow capitalism. That's the system change we need. Correct. Like, and it, what I found very interesting was that how arts was at the like pinnacle point of capitalism. We kind of propped it up like in this really strange way. We were right at the forefront of it, like, because the arts end fell out of the arts, and like we were the ones that were going, wait a minute, how are we, like, you know, we're the ones living like paycheck to paycheck and actually propping up a billions of billions dollar industry. It's like $100 billion industry. So, you know, I do kind of see that money's there. It's just when people want to put it. So yes, they are afraid. I agree. Hang on. Yes, they're afraid. So, you know, yeah, let's see. What about we need to have the courage, yes, to take steps, not just talk about it. We must speak truth to power. That is absolutely correct. So we have to do it. Like, I mean, we as artists, we already put ourselves out there. So I don't see what the difference is here. Like, we already are doing it. Like, suddenly everyone got real fearful. I'm like, why are we so afraid? And I know it's about putting food on the table, but we have always been in a position where that can be sketchy at times. Yeah. You're working. Yes, blacklist those people. The articles will be coming out, I tell you right now. Yes. Thank you. Yes, these are great comments. Yeah, so, you know, even with the law, that's right, the laws are changing rapidly, you know, under this banner. Yeah, we're seeing these laws change. We're also like have people who already have felt this before, once again, with our First Nations, with our family. So, you know, there's a lot we could be learning at this point as a society of what the peeps have gone through already. Yes. Yeah. What advocacy would you be doing around these digital things? That's a really good question around, there's like, yeah, the data privacy stuff, turn it off. Yeah, the laws are likely to impact lower socioeconomic, Indigenous more than others. What advocacy would you be doing around the digital things? That's an interesting one too. And just from an arts perspective, it is about that thing too. We're putting a lot of stuff online, a lot of art online at the moment, and there's no, we're not asking some questions about that. So that's kind of something that needs to happen, especially around privacy. And we know that these laws are not going to be right, but we have art to get information out there, make videos, make posters, like, you know, that's how it's always been. With social movements, there's an artistic movement that is a part of that. And that's what's happening now. Yeah. Oh, we got a couple of minutes left. Lisa, do you want to say anything?
Oh, I just, you know, look, you know, it's been great having everybody in our lounge room, which is our normal discussions on a daily basis between Basti and myself. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, my note to everyone is, you know, whatever part of it, whichever feeling you're feeling each day, it's right. Like, if you can, if you're in a privileged position to strive for some, you know, actual change, then please do so. There are people like us all around the country. There are organizations that need help, need voices, even if it's you sharing something on your freaking Instagram, whatever it is. Like, you know, there are small things that you can do to help shift away from, you know, like Basti said, we do not want to return to what it was. We need a new normal after this. We need a, you know, we need a new, like, we can see now that what it's like when we do support our most vulnerable, and that we can actually afford it, and we can do this and do that. So look, I just want everyone to take this time to really think about what the world is that we want to walk back into, and what are you going to do to make sure that happens.
Yeah. And that's it. It's time to just think big. Imagine how we want it to be, and then we're going to make it that way. I mean, that's how Hot Brown Honey started. We imagined it on the stage. So that's yeah, that's how we really want to move into this next part of what's going on. And the connections are going to be more and more important. you know, and actually like the local connections and then the global connections as well. Yeah. Yes, that's right. This is really good. Yes, just one quick one, virtual resistance, algorithmic resistance. That's great.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Living in the 20, Auntie Nancy's here. Hello. Yes. Yeah. If you didn't know, Nancy Bamaker is in our show. She plays the role of the mother or the hive. That's her amazing voice that you hear, telling you all to get a move on. Yeah. Okay, great. It's 12:30.
Amazing. Thanks, Busty, for a wonderful interview.
Yes.
And everybody for tuning in to listen to us talk today. We appreciate it.
And tomorrow there's another little lunch which we'll have. It is someone from the Ozco. Sorry, I got it. I did take it into my brain and it went out. But yeah, come in for the conversation, because I think that's where a lot of imagining can happen. We can start putting our thoughts together and actually working out how we're going to make it happen. Yeah. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
So you soon. Might be back.
Yeah.
Might be back.